Some time ago I did a video, and it was just a funny video about why I like turtles. Guys, Papa Pepper here at Cave Point. Got these sweet pools down under the caves, and been watching kids jumping off this thing for a while now. I just checked the posted rules and it doesn't say anything about not jumping. So I think we're just gonna go for it and see what happens. They say it's about 8 feet down there, so we'll find out. Wait, Papa Pepper's a turtle? This is not that video. I'm gonna get into the real reason that I like turtles, but first I gotta pick up something here at the store. You see it? Get him, son, before he gets away. Can you get it? Oh, nice map. Thank you. Get him to shore. Get it quick before it jumps up. Show me. Okay. Where'd he go? You don't know? It was out here. I saw it. Oh. Oh, I don't even know that kind. Who is that? Child. Show me out. Look at that. Here's one. By the edge of that rock. Another one filming. So before I get into why turtles are my favorite, I'm going to show you a couple of these ones we got here. We live close to the lake. These guys are readily available. There's so many different species out here and so many different just sizes of turtles. All sorts of super cool stuff. And in the spring, it's kind of when they're first starting to come out and warm up. And if you know where to look and what to do, you can come across some pretty cool ones like this little stink pot. So some of these guys are the red ear sliders. They're going to be one of the most common species. It's a subspecies of the pond slider. They're found pretty much from like Colorado, south and east of there. Common in places like Florida. We didn't have them up in Wisconsin. Seen them down in Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas. They start off really cute. If I can find, yeah. There's one. They start off as these tiny little green turtles that people like to pick up at pet shops back in the day. And sometimes what people are not thinking about is that this tiny little cute green turtle grows up and gets this big or even better. In captivity, these have been said to live for 30 or 40 years. This one here looks like a younger female. They get bigger than this. Absolutely beautiful through their different stages of growth. I mean, look at that shell. Very attractive belly. Of course, the characteristic red ear. This one here is probably one of the nicest ones I've seen all year. And you know, we just missed a couple turtles as well when we came down here. So we don't get them all, but when you give them a chance, you can get some. And when you see them here, they'll be moving through the weeds. We see them at night bow fishing. We see them during the day when we're out fishing or just checking things out. And a lot of times at night, these guys will be tucked up in some of the growth that comes through the surface. So they'll be just sitting there and they're not suspecting it. That's a great time to grab some if you're just looking to check some out. And then during the day too, when they're sunning themselves on logs, sometimes they'll take off when they get startled and swim away. Sometimes they'll just dive straight down and sit there. So when they do that, it's a good opportunity to grab some of these. But because people pick up these little ones, or they used to, they're not as readily available these days. A lot of times these days, for a turtle to be sold, they're going to look for a minimum 3-inch shell length because they can carry salmonella and people are more likely to handle the little ones. And because they were so popular, people would pick these up and then release them into the wild when they got bigger. And then you'd have all sorts of ones like this swimming around down in like South Africa or different places in Asia. And they're an invasive species around the world. I don't know how many of these we caught, but they're one of the most common species we have around here. And they live mostly off of aquatic vegetation. So you're gonna find them in lakes, rivers, creeks, but they're usually gonna want some good aquatic vegetation to eat. And then they'll also eat minnows, worms, feast on dead things sometimes. They're part of kind of nature's cleanup crew out there in the lake. These impressive beasts are the river cooter, and some of these big ones have lived quite a life. This one here has actually got a notch taken out of its shell. This one here's got a big indent. I don't know if that's from like a raccoon at some point in their life or growing up. They got hit by a car, hit by a prop on a boat, or what. But these guys are going to be pretty much from Oklahoma, east and south. They pretty much eat anything. They'll have aquatic vegetation. They'll eat live stuff. They'll get whatever's out there. They're going to be some of the biggest turtles that you're going to encounter in fresh water here that are not soft-shell turtles or snapping turtles. So we definitely like to see them. They don't have that red ear, which is a good way to tell them apart. Their belly, you know, a little bit different than what you'd find on a red ear slider. Boy. Here's a couple more. But they can be kind of modeled there too. These guys, egg layers, they'll mate. This one looks like a young male. This is a male. Let's see. Big female. There's just so many turtles in here. Another male, but the females will often be bigger than the males because they're gonna hold more, you know, they're gonna hold the eggs. The bigger they are, the more eggs that they can hold. When they lay their eggs on the land, a lot of times mate in spring, lay the eggs later, and then they'll hatch in the fall, but sometimes they'll actually overwinter in the nest and they won't come out until the following spring. So they'll hatch in the fall and just chill out in the nest all winter long until the next spring. But I'll give you guys a closer look at some of these. I mean, look at that crazy cool shell pattern. How cool is that? And I'll show you a couple of those ones that were nicked up too. I mean, this turtle has a whole chunk missing and it's peeing. Let's go, peeing again. It's got a whole chunk of its shell missing. Look at the size of that indent there. Isn't that crazy? I don't know what did that, but it probably happened quite a while ago, and it's grown since then and just kind of part of how it is now. This is a really cool one. This is the stink pot or musk turtle. I generally describe them as something that looks like a cross between a snapping turtle and a box turtle, because that's about the way they look. They are called musk turtles or stink pots because they can emit a foul-smelling odor. Oh, he's trying to turn himself over. And these are carnivorous little guys. I say little guys because they don't get much bigger than this. This is gonna be about as big as they get. This one's probably this one's probably a mature female. Beautiful looking creature. They'll have those yellow lines on their head. Again, a very snapping turtle looking head, and carnivorous. So they're gonna be eating small aquatic insects, worms, tadpoles, little fish, whatever they can get their hands on like that. And they're generally gonna be up in the shallows. They like kind of staying in shallow water. You're not gonna find them out deep like some of these other guys, but a really cool little turtle. These we come across less frequently. We had them up in Wisconsin. I just never found any there. And have found a few places you can find them down here so far. I definitely like encountering them. You guys, look at this. These are all common map turtles, also known as northern map turtles. There are so many of these right now. Here's one of the smaller ones we caught. Here's some of the bigger ones. And in the streams, in the inlets to the lake right now, there are just a ton of them. When we've been bow fishing lately in the creeks for suckers and stuff, it's not uncommon to find a whole bunch of these just sitting on the bottom. Amazing little creatures. Of course, they start off much smaller. I'll give you a good look at the bottom there and on the top. And they're called map turtles because they kind of have like a topographical type look to the top of their carapace, where it looks like a topographical map. Of all the map turtles, the northern map turtles, this guy's got a really nice shell. These northern map turtles or common map turtles are going to be some of the most carnivorous ones. They like small, like mollusks and crustaceans, so they'll be munching on the snails and other things like that out there in the lake. Pretty cool. These guys go all the way up to Canada and the Great Lakes area. We had them in Wisconsin, although they were usually like in the Mississippi and bigger rivers, so I never really came across them where you could catch them, because they'd be up on piled up on like a log or a rock, and you'd come by and all of a sudden they'd all be in, and how are you going to jump in and catch one in the Mississippi? Much more difficult. But we've had so many of these that we've been encountering lately. Just beautiful to see such a healthy population out here. So unlike this handful of the northern map turtle or common map turtle, this one is a Washita map turtle. And I'll show you a couple differences here. It's got a higher, more keeled shell, which you can see. And if it would stick its head out, it's got like a big yellow eyebrow over each eye. I may have to take a photo of that and insert it here to show you. But just a different one of the map turtles, and then you'll notice on the belly too, there's a much more, there's more pattern and design on there than these other guys. So just another map turtle in the area. Pretty cool to see. These guys get pretty big too. We mostly see them in the rivers, but a really cool turtle, and just to see something with that savage little jagged edge down the back, I like seeing stuff like that. These guys are the other species that we encounter periodically down here, but I have no idea what this is. It's got a head almost like a Blanding's turtle. It looks kind of tortoise-like from the front, but I am not familiar enough with the local herps to know exactly who this is. So what kind of turtle is this, if anyone knows? It's very interesting. This gun's trying to say hi right now. I don't know. I don't know what this is. We encounter them periodically. I haven't been able to find any information on them on my looks yet. If you guys know or feel like doing some online research, let me know whatever you find out. But they're interesting. You know, they're not a soft shell, not a snapper, not a musk turtle, not a mud turtle, not a box turtle. They're not a cooter. They're not a slider, as far as I know. So who are they? It looks like we got a couple nice ones here. This one I think is a female. This one I think is a male. So I got like maybe a mated pair, but I don't know who they are. Boy, they dirtied that water up pretty quick, and we're gonna let these guys go. If you've wondered how I've kept those children so quiet while I've been doing that, I'll show you guys. They actually have been fishing over here, and whoa! See, they're proving it. They're fishing. Look at that red ear slider. So we're hoping to get a nice meal out of these to bring home to Mama. And I think they're down to 2 pulls because they ran into a couple issues with some of them. But I love that when the children can provide food for the family. So I'm gonna let these go. Thank you guys for sitting with me. Hopefully the wind wasn't too much. And if you want to know the real reason that turtles are my favorite, I'll tell you. You sat around this long, I'll tell you the real reason. The real reason that turtles are my favorite is that I like them more than all the others. That's how favorites work. I'll see you next time. Papa out.
Thank you for watching. Hit the like button. Thumbs up. But well.
Oh, that little red ear. I might want to keep it.